So this is Louis, and no, I have not disappeared down a well. I have not died. I have just had a few bad weeks, and I spent about 20 minutes bitching about my parents in another commentary, and I will decide whether I want to upload that or not, because I find it to be a topic that I don't really want to get into. It's not really very appropriate to talk about your family, such as it is, on YouTube. But I'll decide whether I want to upload that or not, because the short version is the more time I spend with my parents, the more obvious it is we just have personality conflicts and opinion conflicts. And my parents have basically an obsession with mainstream news, and they don't think about anything outside of what they're presented on it. And so they're like mystified when I present them outside information. And I say this at the end of the commentary. It's like speaking to someone who's breathing air for the first time. It's like watching them go through that experience and have them talk about it. When you give them any outside information, because all they do is watch NBC News in the evening, and that's their only, view of the world. Like, that's all they're given, so that's what they believe. Spending too much time with people that you have a dysfunctional relationship with, not a good idea. Doesn't put you in a good mindset, even if you love them. I'll just leave it there, because I'll decide whether I want to put up that commentary or not. But that's where I've been for the past couple weeks. It's just me having to realize that the dysfunctional relationship I had with my parents, here I am going into this again, that the dysfunctional relationship I had when I was like 20 years old, 19 years old with them, like, that hasn't fucking changed at all. So it just means that I had to distance myself a little bit. Not that I don't love them or I don't want to see them in anything like that, but I just got to spend less time with them, because those personality conflicts and that have not gone away. In any case, let's talk about some fucking news. So I have been gone for a little bit. Not that I've been enjoying myself doing anything else, but I haven't been around. So what's going on, Louis? Give us the good news, Louis. Oh, well, here's the news. Everything's fucking awful. I hate this fucking year. First article is on Epic Games. I hate Epic Games. I hate their bullshit fucking store. I hate their company. I hate their products. They make Fortnite, which is a very popular game with children. They are an organization that is like fucking EA, to where it's like, hey, are there any communists nearby? Can we find any communists? Are there any racial agitators around us? Like, search the streets, search the block, find anybody. Can we find any fucking people that hate America? Okay, we found one. Let us just put them in our game. I hit my desk so hard I disconnected my phone. I can't begin to tell you, when I saw this, how the rift of feelings that I had with it. Because what they did in Fortnite, okay? And I imagine some of you didn't hear about this, but I had a ton of people last month send me this, but I was so of two minds about it that I just couldn't deal with it. They did this, we the people, we're black, fuck whitey, fuck America videos. Give us reparations, gib. We're all rich, yet somehow stereotypical, and we want blacks to live on the Democrat plantation forever. Fuck Van Jones and these other people, including Killer Mike. Killer Mike is a fucking, man, I was about to say something I shouldn't have. He is a piece of shit. I can't stand black people who think that black people should just be dependent. I can't take it. I can't stand it. And the fact is that with Killer Mike and all these other people, like, some of them, it's just a grift, okay? It is just their job. This is their career. is to be racial agitators. But with someone like Killer Mike, he has bigotry of low expectations. Like, he legit believes that unless you have a white liberal giving a black man a handout, that black man is done. And it puts me in this mindset to where I can't stand certain people. And it's to the degree to where I know that they are actively harming others because they're reinforcing this black collective mindset where they believe that black people are a monolith. And that to Mike, people that, Clarence Thomas, Thomas Sowell, all the black conservatives, they're all not black. They're all simps for the white man in his mind. And it's when he's being consistent that he'll say something to that, to where you actually understand what he believes. What I can't stand about these kind of people is that they'll always, especially with Van Jones, they will bounce around between positions. They'll bounce around, so that way you can't nail them down on what they believe. Because what they ultimately believe is in the bigotry of low expectations. Like, they legit believe that black people can't make it. Even though all these people are fucking millionaires. They think that the average black man can't make it. And so it requires a white liberal to give them a paycheck. And shit like that just makes me extremely angry. Because that is racism. That is, in my view, what racism is. Where you look at a group of people and you don't expect better of them. Like, legit. Like, you make excuses for black criminals and black lowlives and parasites and all that kind of thing because you legit believe they can't be any better. That is racist. And I think that the people with the problem are not the black conservatives who say that black people should be better. The problem is with the black leftists and the black agitators who really do truly believe it's not just a grift where they're trying to get money, and there's a lot of them like that. But the ones that really do believe that your average black person is just inferior to anyone else, especially whites. I can't take it. I can't take when people agitate for that kind of shit. And I think that the people that argue for blackness, for being black, capital B black, to where in order to be black, you have to say you're black. And you have to feel you're black, you know what I mean? Even though with Killer Mike, who's a fucking millionaire, and Van Jones and all these other fucking cocksuckers, they're rich as shit. You could say it's crabs in the bucket, but that's wrong. Like, they're the crabs that have escaped the bucket who are pushing everyone the fuck back in. So maybe you can find a proper metaphor for that. But, I recognize what it is. I recognize truly what this is, and it is racism, and it's some kind of destructive thing to where you have to know that the more you push blackness and black solidarity and black racial collectivism, you have to know to some degree that what you're doing is enabling incompetence, weakness, failure, insecurity. You must know to some degree. Like, and this is my thing, like, the question of evil. Like, does a malevolent person know that they are, or do they truly think they're trying to help others? And I don't know. Like, it just boggles the mind at a certain point with these people, to the degree that, anyone with a conscience, anyone with any sense knows that this is evil. What you're doing is fucking evil. Getting back to Fortnite and fucking Epic, they put this shit in the game, okay? There's the long and short of it. They took this unbelievable, destructive, and evil propaganda, and they literally blasted it in the fucking game. And I'll try to find a video. They just put this in the fucking game. Just put it in the game. No rhyme, no reason, just stuck this racial agitation shit that they posted on July 4th. They waited for Independence Day, and they're like, no, propagandize this evil shit in our fucking game. I will never get the Epic Game Store. I will never buy any games from this company for the rest of my fucking life unless they get on their bended knee and literally, okay? I don't care. Preferably female CEO. Have to put one in. I believe the one they have is male. Suck my fucking dick. That's the only way you're ever getting me to buy anything of yours. Ever. Ever. Play anything on your platform. Anything. Anything to do with you. I will never associate with this company for the rest of my life. Unless, preferably, the female... preferably, the female CEO of their company literally fillets my cock. Okay? Until that happens, I never want to associate with this company ever. Because they're literally trying to propagandize the kids. Okay, young gamers. Especially men. I think it's a heavy majority male that play Fortnite, but I can't be sure. They're trying to propagandize little white boys to be, like, to have bigotry of low expectations towards blacks. And they're trying to propagandize little black boys into becoming racially insecure, to view themselves as inferior to whites, and to have a major, like a legitimate, I mean this, an inferiority complex for the rest of their lives. And I'm not just saying that to be funny or anything. Like, that's what they want. That's the goal, is for black people to have an inferiority complex that dominates every aspect of their life forever, for the rest of the life. That's evil. That's malevolent. I mean, I don't even want to get into it any more than I have. I don't even want to go through the whole thing of, oh, you know, this is what the Klan believes, this is what racists actually believe, like white racists, this is what they think of blacks. I just don't want to get into it, because it's... You've all heard it before. People have been saying it for fucking years, and yet they're teaching this shit in schools. They're putting this in the games. It's in the government. It's in every institution. I do know that there are positive developments when it comes to a certain percentage of black men. It does increasingly, despite what people say, there is an increasing percentage of black men that are bucking this, that they realize that Killer Mike is a plantation so-and-so for the Democrat Party, that these guys are just trying to get them to pull the lever for white liberals, and that they're not really about anything else, that there is a plantation. People can shit on Kanye West. Kanye West is someone who realized at some point in his life that there are people around him trying to use him. I don't give a fuck who Kanye West votes for. I just want him to be free to do what he wants with his music and whatever, his money. Do whatever he wants. I want people to be free. That's my goal. I don't want people controlled. I don't want to subjugate people. I don't want to indoctrinate people. I don't think that that's how you... Like, that's a genuine moral way to convince anyone of what you believe to be the right thing, is by indoctrinating them or... you know, threatening them with social ostracization if they don't mouth the words that you're trying to put in their mouth. Kanye West has realized what this evil is, and he's being poetic in his view of it, but, you know, it's like people keep continuously saying he's insane, he's insane, he's insane. You have to realize that this is somebody who's extremely rich, who has realized that he's surrounded by fucking parasites. He's surrounded by people that aren't his friends, who all claim to be his friends, that are just looking to use him. Like, that has to fuck you up. I think that he's unsatisfied with the materialism of consumerism. I mean, not communism materialism, but consumerism, sort of materialism. He's unsatisfied by that, and that's what he's surrounded by. And everyone around him is like that. So he wants something different. And I would encourage that what black people need to think more about is not empty materialism, empty grandiose wealth. And like I said, pulling that lever for the Democrats, like, you have to realize that there's more to life than that, and what you've been doing has not been productive. It's not made you happier. It's not made your father happier, or your father's father happier, or generations of men and women. It's not made any of these people happier, better off, or any shit like that, more fulfilled, anything. it's only led to destruction and chaos and misery. So maybe we should try something different. And I've, been relatively black-pilled about this myself, that there is a kind of bleakness to the nature of how powerful the we're black sort of conformity is. Like, there's so much. And you know that during an election year when, like, every outlet, YouTube, Spotify, all these different outlets are like, we're going to all publish this playlist where it's like black singers, black musicians, black actors, all these black people going, we're black, we're black, we're black, we're black. All that is the culture of conformity trying to keep everyone on the fucking plantation. That's all it is. Because, like, if something happens and you want to do a song because it inspires you, there would be a variety. But all these songs, all of them are, we're black, we're black, we're black, we're black. Every song is just that over and over again. The reason that is because it's the one unifying thing that they got to keep these people together, and they want to keep them together, and they want them to stay together in pulling that lever in unison. Democrat, 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 Democrat. Every time they show up at the polls, that's the goal. It's no more than that. Like, literally all of this shit that's going on with YouTube and all these other companies, it is nothing more than a brazen attempt to keep a demographic they need to win certain key states. It's trying to keep them together so that they keep voting Democrat, so they keep winning those states or potentially win them. I think that, especially with black men, they realized that even though they claimed, from the beginning that Trump was a racist, he's been getting black votes, and it's increasingly so. And I am curious what happens in this election, because, man, the propaganda has been over the moon. How far will they go? It's not November yet, so how far will they go in the time they have left? How much further? And will it work? That's the big question to me. Will it work? Will Trump get a percentage more black vote this time? How much will it be? Will he lose votes? Will he win more votes? What will Trump get in terms of the percentage of the black vote? Because I have seen conflicting polls. I've seen conflicting evidence. I don't know. And that's what I want to know. That's going to be one of the things, Election Day, the day after, I want to know that the minute we get the numbers. What percentage of the black vote did Trump have? Because with black women, it's probably going to be 4%, like it was last time. And it's going to be forever, probably. But with black men, that is the question. What will it be this time? And I've heard many of you say that you're pessimistic in that, and I understand why, because of the amount of conformity culture and propaganda. I mean, it's gotten to the point where they're putting it in little kids' games. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point of this story. So, yeah, it's fucking bad. But the question is, what will the effect be? I don't want you to just listen to every word I have to say and just agree with me. I want people to think for themselves. And my expectation of a black man is to be whoever. That black man should determine who he is, what he does, what he believes, everything. And I think that it's wrong to tell a black man what he should be, what he should believe, and all the rest of it. Or that a black man is incapable of doing whatever. And that we either need to give him a check, he needs reparations, he needs my help, he needs me to help him demonize the white man, whatever the fuck. I've talked about this in my past videos where there are targeted attacks on whites now because of the protests and all this that have gone on and the riots. That there are targeted attacks on whites because these people have been basically let off the leash because, the whole culture in the media has basically unleashed their inner id and have, like, suppressed their conscience to where it's like, no, go for it, open season on whites. Unfortunately, I think that because of the propaganda, like, it's really tapped into a freaking dark nature within people. And unfortunately, I think it's sending a lot of people on the other side into the territory where it's like, well, okay, then, 650. I'm going to cite these fucking stats if you're going to go beat up whites. Way to act like this statistic. I don't want to hear about fucking racism unless we're talking about the racism of what's going on with blacks, whether it's the white liberals and blacks, Joe Biden and blacks, his expectations for the blacks, or, the white liberals or the racial agitators. Here's an article today. I was thinking about talking about, shut the fuck up, Hill, don't play your automatic video, of Michigan GOP official refuses calls to resign while continuing to publicly use the N-word. Here's the quote. Here's the quote of his. Well, this whole thing is because of those niggers in Detroit. Urkel, I guess it is, said in a public meeting on Thursday, he said, Black Lives Matter is taking the country away from us. Some people got mad at him, so he said, I can say anything I want. Black Lives Matter has everything to do with taking the country away from us. People claimed he's a racist, blah, blah, blah. And he ends it with, I don't regret calling it a nigger. Erkley or Eckley.
Who the fuck is Eckel?
Eckley. Let's talk about something else.
No, you open his clam, my friend. Who is he?
Cold, whatever, radio. A nigger is a nigger is a nigger. That's not a person whatsoever. So I don't know exactly what it's pretty clear that either he's trying to cover his ass or he was misinterpreted or he's just really loose with calling things a nigger. Like, in some ways he's like me, to where, I call white people niggers. Like, I got this article that's just like a propaganda ad against suburbia by Alexandra Petrie of the Washington Post. She's a nigger. And it's because she's an overly educated Harvard graduate, elitist person who lives in a suburb or in like a townhouse in an urban area and wants us all to be raped and murdered by 650s, joggers. So she, who is arguably white, is a fucking nigger. And she can go live in the city and get raped, for all I care, because I love the suburbs, and I want to keep them how they are. And watch me get censored off of YouTube for that comment right there. Anyways, getting back to the guy in Michigan calling something a nigger. I'm not sure what he called a nigger. You're just going to have to figure that out for yourself because I'm not too sure. It's been omitted from this article what exactly he was referring to as a nigger. But, I don't know. We have to know, what was he calling a nigger? That's the question. It isn't, racism. Okay, maybe. But, I mean, ask him, what do you think of blacks? What's your opinion of black people? Do you think there's such a thing as a black individual? What do you think about Clarence Thomas? What does he think about Herman Cain, who just died? What does he think? What do you think of Herman Cain? He's another Republican. What do you think? And he goes like, well, I don't know, he's a nigger, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, maybe, yeah, he's a racist then. But he goes, no, I loved Herman Cain. Rest in peace. I'm sorry he's gone, blah, blah, blah. I love Clarence Thomas and all these different black Republicans. Then it's like, okay, well, then is he a racist? I don't know. We have to ask. And the other question is, the second question is, once you square away whether he's actually racist or not, is what was he referring to as a nigger? Specifically, he could be saying something particularly irritating. My lawnmower, which I know works, but for some reason there's something wrong with the throttle or something. It keeps kicking out in the middle of mowing. It's a nigger. Well, I can't disagree. If he refers to his lawnmower as a nigger, then maybe it is. It's whatever he says it is. He's obviously working on some kind of crazy definition that's different to you and mine, possibly. I mean, what you reference as a nigger is probably different to mine. I'm referring to white women writing articles against the suburbs as niggers. And I truly believe that. I truly believe Alexandria Petrie is a nigger. Fuck her. And her anti-suburban screeds on the Washington Post. The suburbs are the best. Fuck the rural areas. Unless you support me on Subscribestar, then I support you. Fuck cities. Fuck urbanites in the urban area. Fuck the city. Suburbs are best. And I don't even care if you don't support me on Subscribestar and you live in the suburbs. You have my full-throated support of you. That's how much I love the suburbs. I know that you are going to say that this is quite a tangent and that this commentary is going to skew, but I don't think so. I don't think it has. I think that this perfectly encapsulates my disposition. That this guy using the N-word doesn't matter. It's what you're pushing. It's what you're telling people. It's what you're doing. Actions mean more than this guy referring to whatever as a nigger. Actions mean more than me calling a white woman, writing an article I disagree with, a nigger. Racism should be a joke, because to me that's what it is. It is a joke. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. It's something from a time where it's something that is beyond the point that should even be considered. But here we are. Here we are, where fucking racism is alive and well and fucking everywhere. And it's like, where's the Klan? Where's the alt-right? Where the fuck are the actual, like, white racists? Where the fuck are they? Under a rock, disappeared, gone, non-existent. And yet you got white liberals and you got fucking black agitators that are grifting and making millions of dollars and spending their entire lives doing it, running around all over the place. Pushing racism. Themselves actually pushing racism. Supporting racism. In any case, I guess I will just leave it there. Thanks for listening.